Hey everybody, welcome to Hockey Skate Down. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. If you want to join our hockey team, it's free. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell to all. Thank you all so much, and let's get started. I want to do a video talking about the New Jersey Devils and a recent podcast that Eliotte Friedman did on his 32 Thoughts podcast. He had a lot to say about the future of the New Jersey Devils, especially this offseason, and I agree with a lot of what he said, and I wanted to do a video on it, as it is what a lot of Devils fans are thinking about the state of the current players and what they could do heading into the offseason. So I want to talk about that in this video, so please stay with me throughout. So on one of his most recent 32 Thoughts podcast, he said the biggest goal is to find a goalie. Can't keep coming with the same narrative. Easiest fix is Blackwood coming back and playing healthy and well. Things that derailed his season. Definitely his injuries, especially his most recent one with the heel. We had the injury that happened with Capo Caco when he got hit in the head when he came across the crease. Another thing that was an issue this year was his battle with the Devils and how to handle his injuries. The vaccine issue that caused strain early in the season and created hard feelings. We had the Subban tweet that he put out, and Devils management told him to quickly take it down. And also mentioned how Blackwood getting a new agent means something is not good. You never get a new agent when things are okay. Wonders if the relationship between Blackwood and the Devils is beyond repair. And Eliotte Friedman says it may be time to move on from both sides. So, I don't know. With the emergence of Nico Daws and, you have some good UFA goaltenders out there. Campbell comes to mind. There's a couple of names out there that can really help out this team. Darcy Kemper is another one. And I'll do a video on future, in the next couple of videos on, options the Devils can look at. But there is options for the Devils this offseason. They do have cap room, barring what happens, how they fill out the rest of their roster and contracts that they have to work out with their current players. But if they have enough cap room, this is something that has to be addressed. Your situation in net can't go with the same narrative, which I agree with Eliotte Friedman. You can't keep bringing in these netminders where you have some sort of injury that derailed their season and hopefully they get better for this season to play for your team. Can't happen that way. We saw what happened with Crawford, had an injury, had to retire. We saw what happened with Bernier, had an injury, he played a couple of games, got injured again, and is done for the season. So they have to go for a situation where they can bring in someone who's fresh and ready to play and can help out this team get some victories and earn a playoff spot. This team could have been a lot better than it was, barring what happened with them in net this year. Losing Blackwood and losing Bernier is not the best option, as they had 7 netminders playing for this team this year. And, we like what we saw from Nico Daws. That's promising. But like Fitzgerald said, they wanted him to play in Utica to gain some experience and time. They didn't want him to rush him up to the NHL, but it was something they had to do. They didn't have any other options at the time. So definitely have to work on bringing in a good tandem in net. I don't know what it's going to be. Is it Blackwood and Daws? Is it going to be Daws and another netminder that they acquire via trade or sign someone via free agency? I don't know, but that's the most pressing thing the Devils have to do in this offseason is get their netminding situated to start getting some wins for this team to put them in the playoffs. So, that's definitely something I agree with Eliotte Friedman on. He also mentioned he would be surprised if Pavel Zacha was a Devil next season. And, I could agree with this as well. A lot of Devils fans are tired of Zacha, his up and down years, the way he's been playing inconsistent. We thought at the end of last year, coming into this year, we'd see a different Zacha, and we did see it in the beginning of the year, but then he went through a lull, he got injured, and, he did score the last game, but, we want to see more out of Zacha, and I think the pressure of being drafted 6th overall really got to him, especially at the state of the team when he came into it. We were the oldest team in the league when he came in, and he probably felt like he had to be one of the cornerstone pieces of this team, and, that's a lot of pressure on a young kid, and him playing year after year, he's more suited to be a complementary piece, not being one of the main pieces, So he has a two-way game. He needs to play that way. He doesn't have to be relied on to score goals, but, here and there he should be putting in some goals. And, he's a streaky player. He's inconsistent at times, but we did see some flashes of what he can offer, and I think he could really help another team out. So I think the Devils will do something this year to create a roster spot to either bring in someone or promote from within. And I kind of think Zacha's time with the Devils is nearing its end. So I agree with Eliotte Friedman on this one as well. I know a lot of Devils fans want to see Zacha moved on and see what the return could be for him. As you know, maybe he plays better these last couple of games, and maybe they get a better return for him come the offseason. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see with that. And he also went on to say about wonders about Jesper Bratt and an offer sheet. That's something that's out there. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully Fitzgerald can work out a contract that's favorable for both sides. You know, as a Devil fan, I want to see him sign with the lowest amount possible so it helps our cap situation. But I do want something favorable for Jesper Bratt because he earned it. He did play a good year. One of the most consistent Devils throughout the whole course of this season. And, you know, being drafted late in the draft when he got drafted, you know, he's turned into a bright spot for us. And it's something that we didn't think he could be a 60-plus point player, but it's very impressive to see him reach that feat, and he can be a very promising young piece of our core going forward. So, curious to see what happens with Bratt this year. What kind of contract will he sign with the New Jersey Devils? I'm thinking it's somewhere going to be high sixes, maybe sevens, where a lot of people are thinking it's going to be higher than that. We'll have to wait and see, but curious to see what he's going to sign with. And especially that him and both Wood and Bratt are, you know, arbitration eligible. So that throws into something too. So even with Miles Wood, what happens with Wood this year? Is this the end of him as a Devil? Do the Devils bring him back for another year, maybe at a cheaper rate since he didn't play a lot this year? Curious to see what happens with Miles Wood. He could be a good option for us on those bottom two lines. You know, he offers speed. We see what he did in that one game he did against the Montreal Canadiens where he hit Nick Suzuki and really changed the game there. And you saw his speed throughout that game too back and, you know, helped out the Devils that game. So, you know, we'll see what happens with the future of Miles Wood and the New Jersey Devils as well, as he needs a new deal this offseason too. And a Severson decision is what Eliotte Friedman talked about it too. He said he made it known he wants to stay and re-sign with the team. So he's curious to see what happens with the situation with Damon Severson. Will Fitzgerald move him for some assets to bring up players that may be ready to play? You know, we have Walsh, we have Hughes in the system, so I don't think they're ready, and I hope the Devils don't allude to move Severson just for a return. You have to have players that are ready to step up into doing what he does, but Severson's been really good this year. He's having a change of a season. He's playing really well, and I like the way he's played this year. You know, he's putting up his career highs in goals, assists, and points. He's looking more promising than other years defensively as well. He still has his defensive lapses, but, you know, he's looked very promising. And I hope they do keep him around for at least another season to see what happens. But, you know, he's played well this year, so you got to give him to that. So I'm curious to see what happens with Severson. You know, what his contract is going forward going to look like. Will him and Fitzgerald be on the same page with that? We'll have to wait and see what happens in the offseason. So, you know, looking at what happened the past couple of games, you know, Hughes is out for the rest of the year with a low-grade MCL sprain. And, you know, that sucked, you know, seeing him go knee-to-knee with Wahlstrom. And I gotta give it to Subban with that. He didn't hesitate whatsoever, stepped up and fought Wahlstrom, and, you know, pretty well, too. I didn't say it was a quick victory with that, but... You know, I like that fact of what Subban did. You know, he knows he's probably not going to be on this team next year. And for him to step up and really not even think about it, not even wait a couple of shifts or later in the game, it was instantaneous. He saw what happened. He went up to him and you know, just started fighting with him. You know, he stuck up for Jack Hughes and, you know, the future of the Devils. You know, he's our franchise player. I was hoping any other player would step up as well. But, you know, we really didn't see it besides Subban. But, you know, high praise for Subban because he didn't have to do that. He knows he's probably not going to be on the team, but he did do it. And, you know, it shows a lot of PK's character. Wood is shut down for the rest of the year. Siegenthaler is out the rest of the year with a broken hand. But Blackwood has returned for practice. So, you know, hopefully we can see some games with Blackwood, give Dawes a break, let him play in Utica, which I want to say congratulations to the Utica Comets as they clinched the playoff position for the 2022 Calder Cup playoffs. So, congratulations to them, and I hope to see them win it. That'd be really good for the future of the New Jersey Devils as well, seeing their young prospects doing well down there. So, you know, comment below what you think about all this. What do you think about the Devils heading into the offseason? I still am going to do videos on what they could look to acquire via, you know, signing any UFA players that are out there this offseason. Whether it's forward or goaltending, which I think those are going to be their two main priorities. Comment below what you think about all this. And thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time. Smash that like button if you haven't done so, and subscribe to the Hockey Skate Down. It's free, and join our hockey team. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of the day. Have a great night. Take it easy. Stay safe.